about the basics of database programming. So in today's class, we'll see what are the different types of operations will perform on table. Okay, I hope all of you are understood the hierarchy of databases. Let me revise things once again. So, in continuation to yesterday's topic, so let me explain what is a table and how we are going to create a table and what type of operations we are going to have on any particular table. So we'll see, for example, if we want to store the data, first we need to create a database. Okay, so for example, let's say yesterday I should use some example, right? Some form example yesterday we discussed. For example, I want to store the data of that registration form. Okay, so in that registration form, we have some information. I want to store that. I want to store the details in a database. So how we are going to store it? If we want to store the data, first we need to create a database. So let's create a database. Okay, database name is student, right? Let's create a database student. So I want to store the information of the student. I want to store the information of a student. Let us assume that already we have the student form is available. Okay, so this is the form. Yesterday I explained already. Let me open it once again. Yeah. So this is the form. Okay. So in this form we have different details we are asking from the student. Like name of the student, mobile number of the student, email ID of the student, and date of birth, address, Aadhaar number. We are asking all these details through a form. This is actually, it's a form. Okay, in registration form, we are asking all these details. Okay, once some student is entered all these details, when he click the register button, yesterday already I told you, they will be stored in some place, right? Where they will be stored? They will be stored in some table. Okay, where the table is going to be there? The table is going to be there in a database. So that is the reason why just I am trying to consider this example only for this entire concept. I am going to consider this example only, this student example, this registration form. So that's why if I want to store this details, I need to have a table. Okay, so the table is available in a database. So that's why I'm going to create a database. Let's say database name is student. So under the student database, I will create a table. Maybe table name is something like users. Okay, so table name is something like users. So I have a database. The database name is student. Under student database, I'll create a table. The table name is users, right? In this users table, I'll create this users table. I'll create this users table with the columns what we have in the form. So now tell me, what are the columns which are there in the form, or what is the data we need to store in this table? So if you see this example, what are the information I need to store in this table? Name, mobile number, email ID, date of birth, address, Aadhaar. So same columns I need to create in my table, because every field I need to store. I need to store name, I need to store mobile number, I need to store email ID, I need to store date of birth, I need to store address, and I need to store Aadhaar. So that's why in the back end, okay, in the back end means in the database, I need to create this table. The table name is something like users with these fields. What are the fields? The fields are name, mobile number, email ID, date of birth, address, Aadhaar number. So these are the fields for my table. Yesterday I told you, right? So this part is over. If you see here, this part is over. What is this? Step number 1. I created a database with the student name. The student database is created. So under student database, okay, we'll have multiple tables. So I created one table. So the table name I given as users. Okay, in users table, I need to find, or I need to select what type of columns I should have. So what are the columns? In this example, the columns are name is one column, mobile number is other column, email ID is one more column, date of birth, address, and Aadhaar. So these are the different types of columns. So now I'm going to do the same here. So first database is created, database given name as a student, and I create a table. The table name is users, and the columns for this table. So what are the columns here? Column name. So what is the column name here? First, same thing. Whatever the data we are trying to store, the same thing will become column name. So if this column name is name, so this is nothing but name, and second column is mobile number, and third column is email. Next one is date of birth. Next one is address. Next one is Aadhaar. Okay. So now I created a table. The table name I given as users, and the table is having these columns. What are the columns? Name of the student, mobile number of the student, email ID of the student, date of birth of the student, address of the student, and Aadhaar number of the student. So, and what will be the data type for this? For every column, we should have data type also. Data type. What is the data type for name? Name is, in general, the data type of the name is, it is a string. Okay, it is a string data type. And mobile number, maybe you can give this as an integer, or it's a number. And email, it is a string. And date of birth, it's a number, or we can say integer. Address, it is a string. And again, Aadhaar number, it is an integer or number, right? So this is what we are supposed to do in the back end. In the database, we need to do this, right? So why we need to do this? Can anyone tell me why I need to create a table with these column names? Please respond in the chat box. Why I need to create a table with these column names? Please respond, everyone. Why I need to create a table with these column names? Why I selected these column names? Everyone, please respond. I'm not getting any responses so far. to understand the data. Okay. Any other information? You can modify them, saving in structured manner. Okay. Yeah, saving in structured manner. Okay. And one more example I'll give you. For example, whenever you are going to register your Gmail account, whenever you are going to create your Gmail account, okay, you are going to give some details like first name, last name, email ID, database collection of tables. Yes. Okay. So, do you think that uh, whatever the information you are giving, let's say while creating your Gmail account, you are giving so many. You are giving lot of information. Okay. But for creating a simple Gmail ID, is it required all the information like your middle name, first name, last name, mobile number, email ID? Maybe email ID is enough or user ID is enough. Enough. Okay, why they are asking so many details? Why date of birth is required? Whatever the data you are giving, everything is going to be stored, or only few details are going to be stored. You are giving some like name, last name, okay, email ID, date of birth, city, address, pin code. You are giving 20 fields, let's say. All the 20 fields will be stored in the database, or only like 10 fields will be stored and 10 fields will not be stored. Is it like that? And one more question. I hope all of you are observed that there is a field in each and every website. Star field, star fields are mandatory. Okay, what do you mean by that star field? If you don't fill that field, automatically your form is not going to be submitted. Right. So, what do you understand by the word that star fields? Because the question what I asked is related with this actually. For example, in the websites, if you don't give your middle name also, it's going to be submitted, because middle name is not mandatory. Everyone may not have the middle name. Okay, so now what is the meaning of that mandatory? Even if you are not submitted middle name, your registration is going to be successful. If you don't submitted your middle name also, your registration is going to be successful. Yes, optional. So what do you think in terms of database, if it is a optional field? Option is correct answer only, but what do you think in terms of database if it is an optional field? Now, don't raise any hands. If you have any query, you can write the query in the chat box. I'll answer. Or if you have any answer with you, you type in the chat box. By raising hands, don't disturb others. Okay, so I think you understood my question. First, you try to understand the question. You know that there are several fields which are mandatory in a website and several fields which are not mandatory, like optional. So, what is the and what is the non with respect to database? Actually, our concept is database. Okay, whatever the data you are giving from the front end, whatever the data you entered in that website or web form, every value, whatever you entered, that value will be stored. In general, every field is going to be stored. For example, let's say you are creating a bank. You are creating a bank. Okay. So creating a bank account, they are going to ask so many details, including your date of birth. So, for example, today is your birthday. Okay. Then bank people is going to send message, right? So from bank you will get a wish. You will get some your birthday wish, right? So how to send that birthday wish? They are sending us Your data is there with them. Your data is there with them. Okay, notifying is okay. But when it will be notified? When it will be notified, if the data is in the database, then only it will be notified, right? So like that, for example, some optional fields like middle name, okay, some pin or some alternate mobile number or alternate email ID. These all are actually optional fields. In some of the websites, if you don't give any alternate email ID, alternate mobile number, okay, of course your details will be submitted, right? So here also same thing. So mandatory fields are nothing but, in general, in most of the websites, the mandatory fields will be stored in the table. Non-mandatory fields like alternate mail, alternate mobile, okay, they may not store. They may not store in the table. So that's a purpose actually. Sometimes they may store the non-mandatory fields also. That is all depends on the type of the application and the type of the website you are trying to register for. Okay, so now my question is, why we need to create the table with these fields: name, mobile number, email ID, date of birth, address, Aadhaar. So what is my intention? My intention for creating a table with these columns. Okay, what is the purpose? That is my question. You know this form, right? This is a form. This is a form we are talking about. And if I in the database for this form in the database, I created a table with these fields, right? So now tell me what I am trying to do. If I create a table with the same fields, then what is my purpose? What is the purpose of creating the table with these fields? Can anyone explain in the chat box? What is the purpose of creating a table with the same fields, whatever I have in my front end? If you understand this, then your database programming is very simple. Because this is the logic, or this is the connection between your front end and your database. Again, I'll repeat my question. I have a form in my front end. I have a form in my front end with this. Okay, I am asking this information from the student, like name of the student, mobile number, email ID, date of birth, address, Aadhaar. I'm asking this information from the student. Okay, and in the database, in the back end, I created a table with the same columns: name of the student, mobile number, email ID, date of birth, address, Aadhaar number. Now tell me, what is my intention for creating the same fields in that table? That is a question. Yes, data storage. Data storage. But what data? Data storage is correct answer only, but what data? To control the front end data. Yes, very good. Correct answer. To control the front end data, yes, received data. So here my intention is very clear. The intention is, I'm going to store each and every field that is entered by the user from the front end. That is the reason why I created a table with the same fields or same columns in the table. For example, if I miss one of the field, let's say I don't know this address. If I don't want to store this address, then I may not create a column name with the address, right? But in this context, I created, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. 6 columns I created. What is the meaning of creating 6 columns here? And 6 fields I am reading from the front end. Whatever the 6 fields I am reading from the front end, same 6 fields values, same 6 I'm going to store in the table. So that is the purpose. So whatever user is going to give from the front end, I'm going to store everything in the database tables. Okay, so that tomorrow if anything happen, okay, I'll have the backup. Okay, so that's why if you observe most of the websites nowadays, for example, you forgot your password. Okay, at the time of registration, they are going to ask some security question. They are going to ask. Security question like, what is your favorite food, or what is your what is your pet name, in which school you studied first. So these all are the security questions. So they are going to store that security question answer also. They will ask that security question and you are going to write your answer. For example, what is your pet name? Let's say you written your pet name is ABC. Even this pet name with answer also going to be stored in a table. Because tomorrow, if something is happened, means if some password is missing, or you forgot your password, then what they will do? They will ask you a security question, and if your answer at the time of registration, whatever the answer you are given, if they are going to give the same type of answer now also, then easily you can recover your password. So this is one type of mechanism used by some of the websites to recover password. Of course, some other mechanisms are also there. Okay, other mechanism is maybe you can get some one-time password to your mobile or one-time password to your email ID. Okay, there are other methods also there, but the thing is, okay, so whatever the information you are giving from the front end, every information I need to store in the table, so that tomorrow I can retrieve, I can have the information of all the users in my table. So that is the reason why in most of the websites, this is the common step. What is the common step? Registration. What do you mean by registration? Registration is nothing but simply you are going to submit your personal information to that people. Okay, so that your details will be stored, or your details will be saved successfully in their database. Okay, sometimes you are going to get some messages, right? Sometimes you are going to get some messages. Actually, you don't know how they are going to know your number. For example, you applied for ESET. Whenever you are going to apply for ESET, or whenever you are going to apply for MSET, or whenever you are going to apply for any competitive exam, you are going to register first. Okay, so one register means you are going to submit your details. Once your details are submitted, then in the ESET database, all your data will be stored. And if the database of that ESET, for example, let's say I purchase that ESET database, then I'll know each and every student information. For example, let's say I'm from X college. So I got the ESET database. If I got the ESET database, then I'll get the phone numbers of all the students, and I'll send information to all the students. Okay, my college is so and so, and okay, placements are so and so. You can give me preference for my college in your web options. So in this way, the data is going to be shared. Okay, so maybe you thought like I didn't given my information to any of the college. How I am getting these messages? So you are going to get this message because your data is stored in some place, and that database is going to be shared to some others. So that's why your information is okay. Give it to someone so that they are going to access it. So this is the way how the database is going to be works. This is a common approach for any type of application, for any even banking application or student application. If you take any type of application, university application or any type of application, this is the way how the database is going to be maintained. Okay, database is nothing but collection of tables, and table is nothing but rows and columns. Row is nothing but a record. Record is nothing but information of a particular student or particular employee or particular book or anything we can say, right? So now if we observe here, we have front-end data and we have a table created. Now what we need to do? What we need to do now we have data entered by the user, entered by the user. Now we have data entered by the user from front end, and the table is ready in the back end. The table is ready. Table is ready in the back end. Okay. Okay. So now what we need to do? So these two are two different aspects. First aspect is the data which is there in the front end. Okay, and user is going to give the information in the front end, and next we have that table also ready in a database. Now what we need to do? Table is ready means empty table only. No data is there. So far no data is there. But what we need to do? We need to connect this. We need to connect this table with this information, whatever entered by the user. So when this connection is going to happen? When this table and this front end data is going to be linked. When this connection is going to happen, and how this connection is going to be happen? Can anyone tell me? What will be the next step? Now we are ready with data from the front end and the table is ready in the back end. So now what we need to do? Yeah, link those. So what do you mean by link? Link is nothing but what? Linking is nothing but what? Linking is nothing but when I click on that button, register button, when I click on that register button, I need to store the information entered by the user in the columns, of the table. That is what we need to do. That is what in database terminology, that is what we can call it as insert operation. Okay, what is that? Insert operation. So what do you mean by insert operation? Insert operation is nothing but inserting the values entered by the user, from front end and need to be stored in a table. Okay, so that is what. So here when you are given name as ABC, okay, whenever you are given name as ABC, this ABC will be stored in this name column. Whenever you entered mobile number 1234, this 1234 will be stored in mobile number column. Whenever you entered email ID abc@gmail.com, this will be stored in this email column. Whenever you enter date of birth, that will be stored in date of birth column, and address HYD will be stored in this column, right? So this is nothing but this is going to happen when you click on register button, right? So this operation is known as insert operation, inserting the values entered by the user from front end need to be stored in the table. So this is nothing but insert operation. And what is the syntax of this insert operation? So insert operation syntax. Syntax is insert into table name values. Insert into table name values. So value 1, value 2, value 3, and so on. So this is the syntax. So here means what is the meaning of this line? So whenever you click on the register button, whenever you click on the register button, the insert is going to be happen. That insert operation is going to happen. So what is the meaning of insert? Insert is nothing but simply filling the table with the values entered by the user. That is what insert. Okay. So once insert is happened, then what is the meaning of insert? Insert is nothing but simply saving the details entered by the user from the front end in a table. Okay. So now, so far what happened? So far, a table is created in the database. Okay. And next the values are saved in the table. Okay. So now for example, I want to perform some modification. So modification is nothing but update. So what need to be updated? For example, same example in student example. Now the student address is changed. Yesterday I told you some example like you want to update your address in Aadhaar card, or you want to update your mobile in your Aadhaar card. Then you go to Aadhaar center and you fill some form. Okay. When you fill some form, then if you submit that form to the other technical person, then he's going to update your mobile number in that Aadhaar server, right? And it may take some time, maybe 1 or 2 days to update your mobile number, right? So here also same thing. For example, now I want to change the address from HYD to Vijayawada. I want to change this address from Hyderabad to Vijayawada. Then this operation is known as update operation. Update is nothing but modifying or changing the values in table means we will give new value to that column. So the old value will be replaced by new one. Okay. So this is what update is. Okay, update means simply modifying the value in a table. So what I want to update? I want to update some address, or I want to update some mobile number, or I want to update some marks. Okay. So any type of update is nothing but simply changing the value from old value to new value. You want to modify the value from old value to new value, right? So here, what is the syntax of this update? Syntax of the update is, anyway, we'll see all this programmatically. What is the syntax? All this, but okay, just let me write down the syntax. Update table name, set column is equals to new value. This is a syntax. Example, update table name, I am calling it as users. Update users, set address is equals to VJA. Okay, and if you want, you can write condition also. Okay, where condition. Okay, where condition. Update users set address is equals to VJA. So to whom this address is going to be changed to VJA, then I can write some condition where I can take some condition. So where name is equals to name is equals to ABC. So what is the meaning of this line? What is the meaning of this line? Can anyone explain what is the meaning of this line? What it is going to do? Please respond in chat box. What is the meaning of this line? Update users set address is equals to VJA where name is equals to ABC. What it is going to do? Please respond in the chat box. Changing existing address of whom? Changing existing address of whom? Let's say in my table I have some 100 students. So whose address is going to be changed? Is 100 students address is going to be changed? The name ABC, it update the address. Okay, yes. So it's going to change the address of a particular student whose name is ABC. The address of that particular student, ABC student address, is changed to VJA. That is what it is going to do, right? So that's why we need to write some condition. Okay. So this is what update. Any doubt so far? Just I'm trying to update the address of a student. The student name is ABC. Or if you want to update based on the mobile number, then you can write mobile number is equals to some mobile number. Or you want to update based on the email, then you can write email ID is equals to based on the email ID. Okay, same thing is going to happen when you are going to update your mobile number in Aadhaar. Okay, update users set mobile number is equals to your new mobile number where Aadhaar is equals to your Aadhaar number. So this is what happening actually. Whenever you are going to do something, it is going to happen. Okay, so any doubts? Any doubts? So far we discussed about creating a table, okay, inserting some data and updating some data. So of course creating also it is having some syntax. So let me write the create syntax also. If you want to create a table, so what is the syntax of this creating table? This is the structure of the table. Structure means what are the column names and what are the data types. Structure of table. And it can be created with the following syntax. What is the syntax? Syntax is create table name, create table name, create table name. Then you can write column name and its data type. Column name data type 1. Okay, like that, how many number of columns you want, you can write. Column name data type 1, column name 1 data type 1, column name 2 data type 2, and so on. So in this example we are having 6 columns, right? So create table. What is the table name? Table name is users. So create table users, column name 1. What is column name 1? Name. And what is the data type? String, comma, mobile, int, comma, email ID, string, comma, date of birth, number, comma, address, string, comma, Aadhaar, int. So that is the syntax, okay, for creating this table. For example, you want to create a table with only 3 fields. What are the 3 fields? For example, you want to create a table with, I'll give one more example here. You want to create a table with 3 fields. Create table. Okay, I want to create a table for student. Student is a table name. Student. And I want hall ticket number. It is integer, comma, name. It is a string, comma, marks. It is integer. So now, what it is going to do? Tell me. What this line is going to do? Please respond in the chat box. What this line will do? What this line will do? What this line will do? I highlighted this line. What this line is going to do? Okay, create a table student. Yes, create a table student with create a table student with what are the columns? What are the columns? How many columns? With how many columns it will be created? Student table will be created, but what are the columns in that student table? Yeah, with the 3 columns. First column is hall ticket number of the student, and second column is name of the student, and third column is marks of the student, right? So this is about to create a syntax. If you want to create any table, then we need to follow the same syntax, right? So I'll stop here, and tomorrow we'll see all these operations programmatically, how we can connect a database and Python. So we'll see all the things in programming point of view. If any doubts, please let me know. If anyone having any doubts, please let me know in the chat box.